Good evening. I'm Mary Love and this is Country Living. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, by the end of this video, I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification so that you get updates for new videos when I load them. And tonight we're going to be making a Hershey's Perfectly Chocolate cake. Homemade, not from a box. And let me just say, this cake is so moist. It is delicious. Now I am going to take a shortcut. Not going to make the frosting that the recipe is on the back of the card for. I'm going to use store-bought frosting. So, let's get this cake underway. Oh, the oven just preheated. So let's get this cake underway. It calls for 2 cups of sugar. Butter knife out here where I can make sure these are right. Oh, let me get you down here where you can see what I'm putting in this bowl. Alright, there's 1 cup of sugar. And 2. This out of the way. Now it calls for 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. There's 1. 3/4. Now it calls for 3/4 cup of Hershey's cocoa, and don't pay no attention to the chocolate on my shirt. I shook the little cocoa bucket while ago. Yeah, the lid wasn't on it all the way. I got cocoa everywhere. Made a big old mess. So I was glad I bought some today. Alright, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa. This is some messy stuff, let me tell you. There we go. That's in there. Make sure I put the lid back on that nice and tight. 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder and baking soda. And I'll put the recipe in the description box for this, because this is really a really good cake. 1 1/2 of baking powder. A teaspoon of salt. And I'll tell you a little tip. This little flat piece right here that's got this little spout on it, this actually came off of a salt box that I bought from Walmart. And when I poured my salt into this wide mouth jar, that little piece right there, I cut it off the top of the salt box. Fits perfect in that wide mouth lid. Alright, so we're going to mix this up. Get it all mixed up. And I've got a little pan of water on the stove boiling, because this calls for 1 cup of boiling hot water at the very last. It does make a very thin batter, but it makes a delicious cake. Alright, that looks good. Oop, nope, not all mixed up just yet. Still some in the bottom. Alrighty. Now then, calls for 2 eggs. A cup of milk. Half a cup of vegetable oil. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And a little extra won't hurt. Now we're going to mix this up with the mixer, so it's going to get loud for just a minute. And it'll be a little bit thick before I put that hot water in here. Alrighty. I don't want to make a mess with that. Slaying chocolate everywhere. I'm already wearing enough of it. Alrighty. Let's get some of this stuff in the sink over here. Ready to wash. Alrighty. I think that water's about hot enough. Let me grab another measuring cup. Alright, 1 cup of hot water. Ah, darn it. I threw my whisk in the sink. And now we're going to slowly add this hot water. Alrighty. Let's get this stirred up without splattering it everywhere. This is going to go into a 350-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes in a 9x13 pan. You can see that it makes that batter really thin. But man, is it ever good. Alrighty, we got that stirred up. Got my pan ready here. Grab my spatula. I used Baker's Joy on my pan to get it floured up. I absolutely love this stuff. Alrighty, we're going to put this in the oven. Like I said, for about 35 to 40 minutes. Usually 40 minutes is what it takes. get you up here where you don't see my mess down there on the counter. Because I made one. Excuse the hair. I'm a little windblown today. But in about 40 minutes, I'll get that out of the oven. I'll bring you back and let you see what it looks like. And I'm just going to use a can of Hershey's chocolate frosting. And I will try just a little tiny piece of it. That's about all I can eat of it. But a little piece won't hurt. That's what I keep telling myself. But anyways, I will see y'all back here in just a little bit. I was going to show y'all this little measuring cup. I went to Arkansas last week to visit my sister, and she had a couple of these, and I think this is just the neatest little measuring cup. One end of it is for wet ingredients. Flip it over, the other end of it's for dry ingredients. No more looking for different measuring cups. I think that's just about the neatest thing since sliced bread. She gave it to me, and Pat, I appreciate it. I thank you for it, and I love you. And the cake's got about 30 more minutes left, and I'll be right back. Alright, there's the cake, fresh out of the oven. And it smells delicious. So I'm going to let it cool, then I'll frost it, and I'll come back, and we'll give it a taste test. Alrighty, we're going to frost in this cake. So, it's still a little warm, but I'm tired of waiting. So I'm going to go ahead and put some frosting on it.
We believe this unsubject's gratification from his ability to keep his victims alive in order to endure more torture.
The choice of items stolen is extremely specific, which makes it believe he's got a medical background. Check disciplinary files at hospitals, med schools, and community health organizations. People would have noticed his behavior.
This is someone who would volunteer to perform painful procedures, and he would spend extra time probing, say, a broken hand or just ending
Me. Man, this is going to taste so good.
He'd be the one pushing his coworkers to go out for a drink and talk about their day.
I know lots of people that'll enjoy this.
Stopping this guy is still the catch in the gap.
This unsub is extremely smart and obviously organized. He's managed to abduct very different victims with very different abilities, all with no witnesses.
And we're coordinating with the police and our agents on the ground in Detroit.
We've also asked Sergeant Hightower to act as
Yeah,
a guide.
still a little warm. That frosting's starting to melt a little bit, but that's fine with me, because it'll taste just as good.
What's he doing here?
We've notified
Alrighty.
we can locate.
You had no.
Let me get me a little saucer.
But it's one thing to believe Lee is lost in the streets. And wonder if there's a killer out there. We know how this is gonna end. No, you don't. Everything I have done is to find
We'll
the
cut just a small little piece.
truth. We're not living off hope.
There are worse things.
You're wrong. Bad news stops us for a while, but then you move on. Hope is paralyzing.
Just a little piece.
Did a stupid thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't that look yummy? Woo-wee.
All these people are missing.
I believe so.
You have any suspects?
No. But we have a strategy to try to catch
Man.
him. And William is helping.
I wish y'all was here to taste this,
There's a chance she
because this is so good.
It's possible.
Do you know what he's doing to them?
It's difficult to say.
Good thing I took my medicine long ago. Man. If you like chocolate cake, I hope you'll give this some try. Like I said, I'll put the recipe in the description box below.
Veteran of both Iraq and Afghanistan.
And I'll also add the recipe for the homemade frosting
If you or a loved one lived or worked
that they recommend putting on it.
diagnosed with liver disease,
Me,
compromised immune
I like
system,
store-bought frosting.
cholesterol or high blood pressure,
But
a thyroid
until next time, God bless. I pray that you have a wonderful evening
contaminated drinking
and wake up in the morning refreshed and renewed, ready to meet the day. But again, God bless each and every one of you. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you're notified each time I upload a new video.
lived or worked at a military base and have been diagnosed with a
I pray that you have a great evening.
caused by PFAS.
Until next time,
Have a claim against the
see you later.
contaminated